All right, Tim, you're live. Go ahead and take over. This is a Strat-O-Matic SOMIFA playoff game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts. I wanted to join Tim, so he switched over from his broadcast to StreamYard so we could go together just to catch everybody up. The Niners got the ball first. They drove down, got a field goal, and then Indy got the ball, picked up one set of first downs, and then had to punt. Tim, can you hear me? Tim is clacking away. All right, 1st and 10. Tim, you're on. You're taking it away.
All right. I was just sending a quick message. I think I may have figured out where I missed a step with StreamYard. All right. Let me get my screen up here. We're at 3:54 remaining in the first. San Fran's up 3-0. Thanks, Dennis, for helping me get set up here.
Yeah, no problem. What do you expect to happen in today's game? I know we're kind of cheating a little bit because we've already seen almost a quarter. But, looking at these teams, I think the key battle is going to be Ed's pass rush on defense against Indy's offensive line. If they throw the ball too much, they're going to wind up getting, in a lot of 3rd and long situations.
Yeah, they had actually a good draw, you might say. They've got good pass blockers working against 2 of his 3 best pass rushers. They've got a 7 pass blocking back, which is going to work great. Ed's got TJ Watt coming off the corner. Both ends are good, and he's got a 7 on one side. And he's got a 7 at center, and Ed uses a 3-4. So good matchup draw, you might say. But you're right, that's a key matchup in the game. I also feel like 4 working against Gronkowski is going to be a matchup Jeff's going to have to spend some free safety double teams on.
Yeah, that's Ed. He's going to get you. He's going to lure you in with run, and then hit you over the top of the bomb, which is a way a lot of us play. And Baker Mayfield has the long gain on 8. If he can avoid the turnovers, he should be in good shape. But Mayfield turns it over more than the typical NFL Ed quarterback.
Yes, he does. And you've got a couple of quarterbacks that are really good deep in this game. So, teams are probably going to look for big shots. You got Deshaun Jackson, with Phillip Rivers. Let's see if Ed's got a 4. Yeah, 4 matched up against Deshaun Jackson. So, Phillip Rivers is going to look to hit that a couple of times.
Yeah, and he also turns the ball over, hit 2 through 8 on 10 on a deep pass. So maybe turnovers will be another thing to look at today. Also, if Chris Carson can hit one of his big runs. The thing with Ed, the way he plays defense is he does a good job of double teaming and also minimizing any openings. Like here, he called run, but there's no flats open. Yes, right. He hit a white die 6 there, but that could happen no matter what. So Ed's always covering his bases. You rarely see him with a true open man in zone unless he knows the opponent's not going to, look in that area.
Yeah, and he's made me count his defenders on the field several times because it seems like he's using 12 or 13 most of the time. So.
Yes, exactly. That's a more eloquent way to say what I was trying to point out. You're absolutely right. He'll double with a linebacker. He'll double with a free safety. He'll move guys around. So
yeah, Ned's got a way of kind of figuring things out ahead of time too. We had a game a few years ago, and I'm doubling Gronkowski like 15, 18 times. Never threw a single pass to him that game. So, Ed will use the red herring approach too. And something you think is going to be a big deal has nothing to do with the game. And, he's got a man off the field, a third of the time while you're thinking he's going to Gronk all game.
Right. His the separation is in the preparation.
Exactly. I really like the running game advantage for San Francisco. They've got a much better running attack, in my opinion.
Yeah, Carson's good, but he's a little inconsistent. And you have to stick with the run. A lot of these guys will get in games with NFL Ed, and you look at the stats at the end of the game, they've thrown it 40 times and run it 15. You can't do that. You need to stick with the run.
Yeah, I think Ed had, and this is one of the reasons he had a higher seed amongst the tied teams. He had a tough schedule this year, and you didn't see a big point differential for his teams like you normally would, but he had a really tough schedule this year. You did as
That
well, I noticed.
Yeah, that seems to be, like I said, and I think this is shaping up for SSFA too. There's just a lot of good teams, a
There
lot of
are.
guys going for it.
I realized when I was looking at the big
The
run for
big,
Carson there.
yeah, guessed right. 3rd and 3, he hits the short game straight on 10.
Yep. And
You won't see Ed. You rarely see Ed will key somebody. So if 10 comes up a lot when Carson's running, that bodes well for Jeff.
yeah, and Jeff has got to be happy. Only like 7 out of 36 chances off your card of hitting a 3 or better, and he got one of them, best ones. So big play for him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
expect Carson's card to be a lot more consistent next year.
Yep. Yeah, I noticed how many good teams there was too when I was doing the kind of the playoff breakdown of teams that competing for a playoff spot. I was looking and I was like, I played most of these teams, it seems like, and they're all really solid, good teams. And
Right.
I played both of these teams, and they're both very solid, well built teams. You got a 6 at nose tackle on one side.
A 5 on the other.
Okay, yeah, you got a Snacks as a 5, and you got 2 6s playing on the 4-3 on the other side. So both teams have really good, middle run stopping ability. And that's a big deal when you're game planning. If you feel like you've got a 4 that you're going to have to cover for and such, but both these teams don't really have to cover for a guy up the middle and against the run.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, there's that 7 blocking back you're talking about, DeMarco. But Ed's got Chris Jones 5-12-2, Jason Pierre-Paul 4-12-1. So he's got 12s coming on the edge against the 7 and a 5. Inside run to Carson here.
Yeah, listening to what was I listening to? I think I was listening to y'all's recap of SSFA. I was kind of trolling and listening to some of that, and I believe it was Michael Reeves had mentioned, some of these guys like Aaron Donald should be rated at end and tackle one way or another, regardless how Strat chooses their primary position, because they actually play that a lot. Chris Jones is a great example of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You get him rushing up the middle. That'll be a big deal in today's AFC Conference Championship in the NFL, whether he can play or not.
Yeah, exactly. He's an impact player when he's on the field, and you get 2 of those guys like they would do when they got the guy from Seattle, Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you get a situation where you've got a lot of pressure coming in. It really changes how many guys you can send out in coverage in the NFL.
Yeah, this situation, there's a key. Like I said, he rarely keys. He keyed this time, didn't work. Oh no, he didn't key. He brought the house. Excuse me, but nice 20-yard pickup there to Kelsey to an empty zone. Here I am telling you, Ed never leaves an empty zone. Well, he will on occasion when he thinks he can. Yep. He can make a big play. But that turned out well for Jeff. The other thing too is I was going to say is that Chris Carson and David Johnson, both these guys, neither of them pick up that 1 yard on 3rd and short. You almost wish he had like a third back that would be just for short yardage situations, like a Rock Thomas or something like that, where he gets good guessed right yardage, because that's going to be you can't really count on Carson and Johnson in short yardage.
Yeah, I think that seems to be a problem with the 2018 card set. I know my Tampa Bay, I've got that problem. I have guys that are solid guessed wrong for gaining steady yardage, but guessed right they don't. And Chris Carson goes in for the touchdown, and
he keyed David Johnson. From a defensive standpoint, you just want to just call run there, because if he just runs it to either of those backs, you have a good chance of stopping it. Maybe not as big of a need to key, but Ed must have had a good feeling that Johnson was going to get the call.
Right. And, a lot of guys are looking to conserve carries when they're in that situation. They're like, okay, my lead back's got so many carries, but Carson's not a worry there. So that never came into play.
No, but you're right. Absolutely. That's a good thing, a good tell to pick up on why you want to key the second back there. Don't want to waste a carry on a big, like a Bilal Powell. You wouldn't want to waste a carry where you can get a short gain. When you're at the 2-yard line, just give it to somebody else.
Yeah, a guy like Bilal Powell, if you can keep him in, even if he only has, let's just say 12 carries, if you can get him 30, 33 snaps, you'll generate a lot of run calls just having him on the field. And you don't want to use him, plowing ahead for maybe 1 or 2 yards in the red zone if you have another good option, because, the effect on run pass calls in the middle of the field is a big deal for Powell.
Yeah, that was a big drive there by Jeff. You get behind NFL Ed, you come back down, you're able to convert, some key third and shorts, and you get into the end zone. That's like a big sigh of relief right there for Jeff.
Yeah, if we were to compare these to just playoff level teams, I'd say both these teams' strengths are more on the defensive side of the ball than offensive, and neither one really are strong on special teams. So defense is the way they win games. So yeah, any touchdown is going to be a big deal. Ed's asking, are we still connected?
It looks good on our side, but it's up to Jeff. I think he's hosting it, so we'll see if he responds.
Let's see.
You usually see this kind of situation when the host's internet goes out. So, yep, there he goes. So we're disconnected. I'm going to go ahead and drop out of here.
We'll do the same.
Before we do, actually, it's going to take them a little bit to set up. Let's look at the box score. 1 quarter in the books. Teams are pretty even statistically. The key difference might be the third down efficiency. Ed's 0 for 2 on third downs, while Jeff's 3 for 4. And Rivers has hit 85% of his passes. That's pretty good. 6 of 7 so far. Carson's running well. Powell's running okay, but he could rip off a big one at any time. So let's get out. Get back in again.
Yeah, I forget what Rivers' interception is. It's not really that bad this year, like 2.2 or 3. He's only got 2 fumbles, so his snap fumble's pretty low. He could actually, move the ball better. He's probably the strongest player in the game, I think. He has an advantage over Mayfield with the lower interceptions.
Good point. But when he throws deep, his interception split moves to 10. So his interceptions aren't so bad flat and short, which affects the overall percentage. But when he goes deep, that's when you have to watch out for the pick.
Yeah, and Ed's done a good job this year of getting a lot of yardage with the long pass column out of Mayfield while not getting a 4 or 5 interception percentage. So he's picked his spots well and been able to use Baker Mayfield to his best advantage, I think.
Okay, we have a new game ID, so I'll be jumping in there. Jeff says, sure was weird. I clicked a formation on my end and then it just locked up. So Strat's definitely not without its bugs. So here we go, 1st and 10 at the 25 as Ed tries to answer Jeff's touchdown. All right, looks like a 1-yard gain, offensive left guard, +6 or +1. Ed's got James Carpenter in there, who's a 0 run blocker. So, if you notice, there's some guys that when they have a playoff type team, they'll trade away some picks to change that 0-5 or 4-5 or 4-7. Ed's usually not one that does that.
Yeah, and I've kind of done the same thing with John Miller. I've got a 0-4 starting at right guard. And I sort of did the same thing. You have guys you've spent picks on. You're not really trying to milk and pull value out of them, but you, in a way, just kind of take advantage of, how many times is a 4-4 going to, beat that? And going for a 5, you're looking at giving up a 4th round pick. And then all of a sudden, I could solve my guard position long-term with a 4th round pick. So,
yeah, good point. And Ed's he's the kind of coach that can win with this type of roster. He doesn't need to do that stuff.
And you get a feeling with Baker Mayfield, investing in a rookie quarterback, he's probably, kind of cautious about overspending for this 1 year.
Yeah, that was a bomb to Taiwan Taylor there that Jeff correctly double teamed, but it turned into a 9-yard dump off on 3rd and 9, exactly what Ed needed to get off the schneid in his 3rd down conversion percentage.
Yeah, and Jeff would have had pretty good field position more than likely. Had to punt from his 26. So,
and good job by Jeff there calling run on 2nd and long. Powell would have gotten 6 and broken contained, but he put him in 3rd and long. That's what you want to do with that. Get him in 3rd and longs.
Okay, we got off tackle right. Guessed wrong.
There's men in the zone,
and he hits the short game.
Yeah. So here's Ed's motif. He's going to run, and try to go over the top, or at least catch him in a run call on a short pass. Corey Davis is maxed out short. Devontae Adams is maxed out short with double teams, but he's covered by a 6. So some nice targets there for Ed.
Okay, we got Devontae Adams in the right flat. Guess right. Gained 6 or 7 there, 7. And it's going to make a point. Yeah, it looks like Bilal Powell's up to around 10 carries already, but Ed's got excellent depth at running back, so he's not worried about conserving him really.
Yeah, he's not one that you have to worry about being cut short on running backs. He usually has a nice stable to pull from.
Who was the guy he had gotten from Carolina a few years ago? I believe he traded to our friend, the late Ron Dickinson of Green Bay. I want to say it was a Carolina running back that he used to get like 130 carries, 4.8, 5.1 every year.
Jonathan Stewart or?
No, it was a faster guy. He was really good flat almost every year. I want to say his last name was Williams. I can't think of it right now.
Oh, D'Angelo Williams. Yeah,
you got it. Yeah,
but he actually drafted him, I think. Oh no, maybe
I think he drafted. He traded a late first rounder from him, and I believe it was right after Green Bay had drafted. Around the time they had drafted Forte as well, so nice. He was able to trade one of the two, and first round picks a lot to give up for a running back. You never know how long you're going to get them, but especially a guy that has been in the league a year or two. But he made a great pickup, and I kind of look for guys that aren't going to have to take 240 carries. It's nice to have a Tevin Coleman type who's only getting, for the most part, 130, 150 carries a year on his body, taking those kind of hits.
Good point. So Jeff's double teamed Gronk twice in a row, and Ed's gone elsewhere, hitting the flats with Devontae Adams, 2nd and 4, just outside field goal range, or just at the edge of field goal range.
And Bilal Powell's not a bad guess right runner, if I remember right, but he's just dynamite guess wrong. So he's
well, he's kind of like Chris Carson, where if you get him right, like from 4 to 8 is 0 or negative.
Yep, he's got the short.
He does have this. He's got the short, the straight short gain on 9 instead of 10.
Yep.
So
he's one of those guys you running draws a little bit with, because you don't lose much between right and keyed with a guy like Bilal Powell.
Good point. And that's another first down for Ed. So it's 1st and 10 to 25 now.
And we're down to 8 minutes left in the first half.
He swaps out Powell for Breida. So 17 excellent carries from Breida on the board, on the menu next for Ed.
Yeah. And I really like the, backfield by committee approach anyway. It to me is the way to go in the modern NFL. You really don't have many workhorse backs. Big play. Corey Davis gets 18 off his card.
And that's another thing that you'll see coaches do. He was going with Powell. You bring in a new back. And as a defensive coach, you think, oh, he's going to want to use that new back. So you call run. But the offensive coach, the cat and mouse game, he counters that with a pass to a maxed out short pass receiver. And there you go. 18 yards later, it's 1st and goal.
I try to do that actually a little bit even in the preseason before I set my team up. I look for places to get my 2nd and 3rd down backs on the field. And sometimes I just rotate it. This is 2nd and 3. I bring him in on 2nd and 3. I don't really worry about the deception amount of the opposing coach. Sometimes this is just his down and distance to be on the field. So I've only got, so many carries for, back 1 and back 2. I want to find places to use back 3. And sometimes it works out that way that, I bring him into the field and everybody's like, well, okay, he's probably saving a carry. He may be thinking run. That's why he's got, say Doug Martin in there. Touchdown, Gronk. Baker Mayfield finds Gronk working on his last card.
That was a touchdown. Guessed right or wrong. Guessed right, it would have been a sack chance, though. So we'll never know how that would have turned out. But touchdown, Ed. He answers Jeff's touchdown with one of his own.
Plenty of time for a normal drive for Jeff. He's got 7 minutes to work with here. 10-7, San Francisco. Jeff will be working against the average pass card in this game while Ed's throwing against the good one.
So you have a bye or not a bye, but you do have a bye this first round, right, Tim?
Yeah, I'm probably the worst team ever to qualify for a bye in many ways. I had a really lucky season in a little bitty things, and I never felt like we were really bye quality material, but we had a lot of breaks during the year, so we ended up with a bye due to tiebreakers.
Well, you got Patrick Mahomes. That's right there is worth a bye sometimes.
Yeah, you can kind of milk that and say you were a great GM for years, but you
get full credit for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I got a lot of breaks in the way his career worked out, but One thing I can say, I was at least fishing for quarterbacks hard, even after spending all that on Prescott. I was still looking really hard at getting a kind of enough chances that somebody was going to work out to be a good quarterback. But who would have guessed Mahomes was going to turn out like this? I sure didn't.
I think you take the credit for it. You did a good job there.
But he definitely has kind of buoyed our team to level that we're probably not quite there on. I feel like our team next year will be a little more solid. I don't have as many holes to fill. So, my picks can maybe be a little bit more toward the current season or maybe make a trade in that way. But I feel like I'll probably, get toasted pretty early in the playoffs.
Yeah, you never know. That's the thing with the playoffs. They're crapshoot. That was a 2nd and 5 guess wrong run, but it landed on the D cards and lost 2 yards. So that brings up 3rd and 7.
It's one of those situations, a better running back, you kind of think about maybe staying in a 3-4, 3-3-5, but with, Johnson in there, it's kind of a dime situation to me.
Yeah, Ed's really good at using the two true double teams here too.
Right. Ed's a heavy double teamer and does use the dime more than the average quarterback or coach, I think.
It's going to be 4-minute zone. It's going to be a dump off, but instead of a +7 dump off or +9 dump off like Ed got, it goes on the quarterback's card for a 2-yard loss, and Jeff will have to punt.
Yeah, big play there. When you get a dump off on 3rd and 7, probably 50-50, you're going to pick up the first down.
And it kind of irritates you, like when the other coach gets it and you don't. Like why am I not getting the dump off like he got?
Right.
That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yep.
That's
a lot of variables like the LB60. There's games where, you hit it 1 out of 3 times on average. There's games feels like you hit it 2/3 of the time. And sometimes you feel like you're hitting it 10% of the time.
Yep. So 1st and 10 for NFL Ed. He brings Powell back in. He's got 2 unfatigued carries left. Let's see if this is one of the times he uses it. And remember, Powell can't really run end run. He's going to go off tackle. There it is, off tackle left.
Yep.
Guess wrong, but with a man in the zone. Linebacker in zone +2 or +6.
Bobby Wagner makes the play on a 6. Excellent play by Bobby Wagner.
Yeah. And that's the advantage of having those 6 defensive tackles. Like even without somebody in the zone, that would have been a stuff because of Jarrett or Buckner or Jarrett or Linval Joseph.
Yep, would have been a +2 or +6 either way. So we've got 2nd and 8. San Francisco ball at their own 34.5 left. Left tackle gets wrong below Powell.
And sticking with the run. Hits another short gain.
And Powell's 13 carries, 67 yards, 5.2. Probably about what he did over the regular season.
Yep. You can't give up calling run against Ed, but then if you call too much run, he burns you with a bomb.
Yep. And he's got the running backs that can keep the running game in play on 2nd and 10. It's a great card by Bilal Powell.
It is. You really got to be on your game calling it right.
1st and 10 up to the 47. Roughly about 25 yards from field goal range. Short to Corey Davis. Got some blitzers on the outside coming. So +14. No pass rush came up on that play.
Baker Mayfield comes through. During the regular season, did these guys play? Let's look. San Francisco, Indy. It was a 28-20 win for Indianapolis during the regular season. So that's something that we can look back on at halftime. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the Niners.
Breida in at halfback. Lots of carries remaining.
That's another thing Ed does good. Long to Anthony Sherman, covered by a 4. He's got Gronk and Sherman, the tight end fullback combo that are covered by 4s that Jeff's got to account for. Yeah, and you juxtapose that against Corey Davis and Devontae Adams, who are max short pass receivers. Gives him a lot of targets, a lot of things you can do. And Powell's great as a short pass receiver for a halfback as well.
Bilal Powell can use his fatigued carries as well. A short gain -1 yard. Okay, so he only got 14 on this run.
Yeah, Will. I think this might be a run to Powell again. Will Jeff?
I definitely think that's in play right here. Indy
It's so tough
39.
to do it.
You're in 4-down territory more than likely if it's anything reasonable. So short to Powell.
So he would have had us guessed wrong. Jeff has guessed right, but the 4 that's covering him is on the line of scrimmage.
So,
but it's a dump off for -1. So there's Ed's bad dump off.
he's still
No
about
asterisk pass rushers.
Yeah, he's field goal kickers 2 through 6 at depth, and I don't remember how far he can go out. Let's take a quick look. To the 37. So if he can gain 3 or 4 yards, he's got a 2 through 6 field goal chance.
This is one of the disadvantages, I think, of having Bobby Wagner, if there is such a thing, is that you really don't feel comfortable ever going to a 3-2-6 in this spot because you take Wagner off the field. You want him on the field, even though Sherman's not going to run it, so there's no containment effects. But you like to be able to slide that 6 out to cover a flat.
Yep. And with outside linebacker 4s, you even think of going 4-1-6 if you've got the right, personnel.
Oh, that's a good point.
I used that some last year just due to the fact I had such a poor team. I was scrambling to find anybody, and had a couple of guys like Rashad Jones, my free safety, who was a 6 in containment. Long pass, incomplete to Corey Davis. 4th and 11, probably looking at a punt here. But
Ed dials it up though. That was nice. That is typical Ed.
Yep.
He's going to try to get you with that free safety get out of the zone.
Yep. But I find a 4-1-6 is rarely used in our game. There's a couple of coaches that'll use it, but every once in a while, when you got a team like this, that's something you might think about.
Yeah. When you have excellent defensive tackles with an excellent middle linebacker, that's the perfect personnel to use it with.
Yep. And if you've got like a backup safety or something who's a 0-4, you've got a guy who can help in containment in one of the flat zones. So.
Good point. So he has to punt, goes into the end zone. One last chance for Jeff to try to get in the field goal range, and maybe to get in the end zone if he gets enough breaks here on this drive.
We got a dime, so we've got the Chris Carson draw in play here. Even though it'll be single back guessed right, got an advantage on the run if you can get it off the defensive card.
And remember, Ed got the ball first to start the game. So Jeff will get the ball first to start the second half.
Got a left flat pass to Mohamed Sanu. He's being double teamed.
But he had pulled the extra DB back, so it doesn't really read as a double team on the quarterback's card.
You're right.
Only if it was a short or long pass, I believe.
Yep, you're right.
It does not get out of bounds. Let's see what Jeff does. I would go hurry up here if I was him. So we'll see if he does that. 1:37 would be on the clock if he goes hurry up. Oh, he lets the clock run, so 1:30. I can understand that, maybe not wanting to give Ed the ball back with a lot of time if you don't feel confident about getting the first down. But you got to be aggressive against Ed too.
You don't want to just give up a possession when you've got a quarterback that's not really a high turnover quarterback. You want to see if you can maybe get something to happen. You never know. You may have to dump off, hit a long gain without being really super risky.
Ed may be baiting him here into calling a line buck. He's got Carson as in the shotgun. Ed goes to a 3-2-6. And if you get that white die 1, that's going to likely be a negative or 0-yard gain. He goes instead to a quick slant to Kelsey, single covered by a 6, one man in zone, incomplete. He really could have used hitting one of those big numbers, +15, +13, but he misses it.
So there's no timeout needed because it's incomplete. Ed's got a 3rd and 6 on defense, and he'll probably go to the dime here with David Johnson in, I'm guessing. Shotgun situation.
So if he would have run it, it would have been a left guard +5 or +0, and those 4s would have been reduced to a 0, so it would have been no gain. Same result, different way to get there. 3rd and 6.
Pass leading to the same destination on that one.
There you go.
Wonder if he may work a flat pass here. Is he going to go short? Maybe see if he can get a completion or a dump off, but you got Ed with some extra double team options out there. Short to Deshaun Jackson, not double teamed. 4 men in the zone, working on a 4.
He
17.
hits the receiver card. That was huge. Gets it past the 40. Now that's fun. File that away because that's the same call he's made twice in a row on like 3rd and 6.
Mhm.
He's short to Deshaun Jackson, Ed doubling elsewhere.
Right.
So we'll see if that comes up again. Maybe something that Ed files away, in a key spot. If Jeff has a tendency to go to D-Jax, he might come back there with a double team at some point.
Yep. It's also looking at Sanu versus the 4, David Johnson versus the 4, even though David Johnson's got some pass blocking responsibilities with asterisk, I believe.
Yeah, both defensive ends have an asterisk.
So you have to think about not moving Duke Johnson because you don't want to have that asterisk come up automatic when you've only got 1 or 2 on the pass rush with the asterisk. You at least want to have a shot at blocking them. And so David Johnson's not as big a target as you might think.
Right, I hear you.
3,
I don't know if I might go. If it was me, I might just stay in base and you got that threat of Chris Carson running.
I like that better too myself because you've got all 3 timeouts, so you're not. And if you force Ed out of the 3 wide or 4, the dime, and get him back into a 5 or 4 defensive back set, then you can open up your pass option.
Yeah, he's really letting Ed, go to that 3-2-6 where he has 2 true double teams, and that cuts down. It's gonna cut down on the number of targets you can go to.
Yeah, and you're down to like 8 plays maximum now. So Ed's also thinking, if it takes him, 2 to 3 runs to gain 16 yards, then we're down to 4 or 5 plays. So.
Okay, 3rd and 7 here. Is he going to go back to that short pass to Deshaun Jackson, or is he going to look elsewhere?
You got the quarterback 4, Steve Nelson, over there saying, "Give me some help over here."
Yeah, and then you've also Kelsey on a flat pass might be another option that he goes to, but even though he's covered by a 6, he got a lot of good hits on his card that can pick up the first down. I say he goes short to David Johnson. What's your prediction? Let's try our best, Tony Romo.
I'm going to think a flat to David Johnson.
Oh, he goes post to the 6. There's still 1 man back there because he pulled the extra DB back. Guess right on Rivers' card.
Yep.
Ooh, a dump off for 5 yards. 4th and 2
now,
in his own territory.
Yeah, Ed needs to think about calling a timeout. If he doesn't, then Jeff's going to let the clock run down to like 15, and he can take a free shot at 4th and 2. But if Ed takes a quick timeout, Jeff's forced to go in 4th and 2 with 37 seconds left. Less likely to go for it.
I don't think he's going to go for it. I think Ed will call the timeout and Jeff will punt.
That's what I would do.
Oh, he didn't call a timeout, but I still think he's going to punt. I don't know if Jeff's got that.
I bet Jeff goes for it. Personally, if I could run the clock down to 8, 4th and 2, I probably take my shot there. I think you do too.
Yeah, even 15. But I if it was me, I would have called my own timeout and gone for it. If I was on offense.
I would have ran the clock down, but I would have gone for it after getting to 15 seconds. So there we go.
But he is getting the ball first, so maybe that's factors into it. Thinking, okay, I didn't make it, but I'll get the ball first and do it afterward.
Yeah, not a bad decision. Just like I say, one I would have probably played slightly differently.
Yeah. So Ed's going to take a knee here. So he's got Freeman, he's got Breida, and I think he has Chase Edmond as well, but his card's not that great this year. Still plenty of carries for Ed. Pretty well played game so far. 10-7 at the half between 2 quality teams fighting for their playoff lives.
Here's going to be one of the fun matchups of the game. One of the worst kick return cards in the set as a solo versus the worst coverage in the set. So Jeff's going to be hoping for get it down to like the 1 and then have it come off the kick returner's card.
Yeah, look at that. Plus 37, plus 43 long game. So we'll see if Suck Up sucks it out. Got a 2-minute break coming here. Let's take a look at the
when I saw the bad coverage. for Ed, I was wondering, does he still have Janikowski? Because Janikowski was doomed being on Oakland for so many years when they couldn't cover kickoff. They didn't really have a lot of great players. I think Janikowski was probably fine kicking it off. I just feel like Oakland wasn't very good at coverage during those years. And that hurts when you've got a guy that, you rely on to be a good kicker, but coverage is difficult to deal with.
Yeah, so looking at the regular season matchup that Indianapolis won 28-20, they went into the half up 14-6. It looked like they hit some big plays in the passing game to Deshaun Jackson had a 39-yard long. Sterling Shepard had a 37-yard long, and Patrick DeMarco, who we haven't seen targeted today, had a 36-yard long, and it was a touchdown. So, that was the opening drive. Patrick DeMarco, or opening score, 36-yard touchdown from Rivers. So we'll see if that's something to keep in mind later on in the game. Right now, like I said, it looks like a pretty even matchup. Anything stand out to you from the first half box score?
Let me take
Rivers got sacked for 14 yards on that one drive that kind of snuffed it out real quick in a hurry. Powell has got 13 carries. Mayfield's thrown it 18 times. So he's, staying close to that 50-50 split, whereas Rivers thrown it 15 times with only 8 Carson's runs. So that's like a 2-to-1 split. I really do think you need to run the ball more to keep the pressure on Ed and have him call run more often. If he can just call pass and use that 3-2-6, that's going to bode well for him.
Yeah. Looking at the first downs, 13-7 for San Francisco with the edge. They're only 1 for 4 on third down, so they're picking up the first downs on first and second down. Thank you, Bilal Powell.
Those short gains to Powell have picked up about 3 or 4 first downs.
Yeah, Indy's 4 for 7, so they're converting when they get to third down, but they're not picking up near as many first downs on the first couple of downs. And the 14-yard sack for Rivers, who got that sack earlier in the game, Fred Warner. So that was obviously a huge play, probably killed the drive. I don't think we were broadcasting.
Yeah, and that wasn't Warner getting the sack. That was reassigned from the defensive end. That was actually Jason Pierre-Paul putting the pressure on to get that sack.
Okay, it looks like we're about to get back in it.
I might be playing my game tonight after the NFC Championship game against Buffalo.
Oh, okay. And who are you playing this first set of games?
Buffalo, Scott Mueller.
Yep.
Muller, something like that.
Yep. Deshaun Watson.
Exactly. Yeah. And do you know who you're going to play in the first round? Is it already set?
I do. The only second round matchup is already set with a 4-5 seed. So I will be traveling to Dallas to play Zeb.
Oh, that'll be a good one. See if I can make time to broadcast that. You guys have been playing each other a long time.
Matter of fact, me, you, and Zeb entered the league the same year.
Nice. That's a good trivia pool.
It is. I feel privileged to be in you guys' group. I believe you and I joined at the beginning of that season, and if I'm not mistaken, Zeb came in like 4 to 5 games into it.
I thought I joined in the middle of the season, at the very end of the season before. I think
that might be possible.
Like I got like a couple games with
And you,
gosh, who was it?
Over the Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, right? You traded 2 names with Tom.
I was the Jets. You're right. Yeah, so here he is. So I joined in the 2005 season at the end. Here, let's look at the 2005 news. So where's Dennis at here? Yeah. So Joe left on January 12th, 2006. Joe Cook, who has since passed away, actually. He was a friend of Tim Forisha's, and I was in a league with them a few years after this and got to know him a little bit. But I joined then, and then the next season, so I coached like 2 or 3 games, 4 games, something like that. And then the next season is when I changed the name from the Jets to the Seahawks. So anyway, enough nostalgia.
Yep. We had
So
a touchback on the opening kickoff, so we didn't get to see the poor returner versus poor coverage matchup. Deshaun Jackson, 14 yards, guessed wrong. 16 carries left for Carson before fatigue, so he's got plenty of carries remaining as well.
who is Jeff's second back? He has, it's David Johnson. So he didn't run anybody else except Carson, and he only ran Johnson a few times. So maybe that explains the 2-to-1 discrepancy. He doesn't have that, that 50-plus carry guy that you feel comfortable with to bring in this situation.
Yep. Kind of reminiscent of the team Philip Rivers was on back around, say, 2007.
Long gain.
Huge play. Deshaun Jackson down to the 10.
So Ed called run there on that second, 1st and 10, and he put an extra guy in the flat, or he moved one of his middle linebackers over. So he had 2 guys in the right flat, only 3 men in the zone, and he hit the defender X or long gain, and Steven Nelson got taken to the woodshed there by D-Jax.
Yep. That's one of my favorite readings off of Strat-O-Matic cards, defender X or long gain. That really adds a lot of impact to the cornerback position, having that on there.
Yeah. It's
3-4
huge.
blitz.
Off tackle left to Carson, 1 man in zone, guessed wrong. And the guard can't make the block. Mike Remmers.
Now, with Ed's defensive ends and what, I'm a little surprised he's not calling free safety blitz in this situation myself. There he is. Okay.
Now he brings it in inside the 10. I guess he was worried about the flat pass before that.
Right. And definitely you keep the run call a little less painful if the opponent throws past. You don't give up the automatic touchdown on the sniper scope. Full house, 3-4 blitz. Second goal at the 8. Carson and David Johnson, short to Shepard, guessed wrong. Big chance. And Indianapolis takes the lead as Sterling Shepard scores on a short pass from Philip Rivers. Rivers 15 of 18, 163 and a touchdown.
So you get right out of the halftime talk by Jeff, encouraging his players. You get a 4-play, 75-yard drive to take the lead in the playoffs against NFL Ed. How's that, Jeff? Jeff says, how do you like them apples?
Yep. Philip Rivers was offering up a North Carolina version of whoop-ass to his offensive line and his receivers and running backs. Come on, guys, let's get out here. This is a playoff game, damn it.
There you go. I like it. And so now let's see how Ed answers. Matt Breida in the game instead of Bilal Powell for this half.
Yep. Baker Mayfield, rookie, feeling any pressure, 75 yards for him to get to pay dirt. Got a 4-yard completion here. Sure want to roll the linebacker 6 when you hit the 12 on the flat pass there with 1 man.
Oh, yeah, that would have been juicy.
So 2nd and 6, definitely down where you think about Breida. And Ed knows that, and he's thinking, these are some of my good passing opportunities as well.
You haven't really seen Jeff double teaming with his free safety a ton. There's a run call, Max short receiver. This could be good for Ed.
Corey
Covered by 5.
13.
13 and a first down.
Corey is a 6 on short pass in just his 2nd year. I believe he went in like maybe the 3rd round of the draft a couple years ago. So Ed got pretty good value perhaps out of him. He won't be the lead receiver anymore on Tennessee, but in a way, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what A.J. Brown, because he hasn't done much in the playoffs in the NFL. I want to see Tennessee look to him a little more at some point.
Yeah.
As people focus on Derrick Henry. Pitch out to Breida only gains 2 guessed wrong. One of the best rolls that Jeff could hope for, a 5 for 0 yards or a 10 for +2.
Yep. Freeman's got 15 carries left. Breida's got 16, so lots of carries for both backs. Okay, we got the blocking back set. Ball at the 44, 2nd and 8.
And remember, it's in play for Ed to go deep to Gronk or the free safety. It's a quick slant to Gronk.
Working against Bobby Wagner, incomplete. Guess wrong. Short game.
Sets up 3rd and long. So this is what Jeff wants to get Ed in as much as possible. Ed goes to a fullback 3 wide set with Anthony Sherman. Now, this is where you might want to send that free safety just because you got a zero pass blocker in the backfield. So that'll be a good chance of a sack, especially since he could also be a target, which would be an auto sack.
Third receiver, Twan Taylor, is like a 4.44, so he's not bad, but he's
Ed's really good at finding those defender extra long gains. He goes long to Sherman, and he's being single covered by a 4. Incomplete.
Guessed wrong. That would be with no man in the zone. That would have been a receiver role.
So again, it's funny how we've seen these. That's an optimal situation for Jeff. Get the touchdown to take the lead, force him to punt, just like we saw the optimal situation for Ed when he got the touchdown to take the lead and force Jeff to punt. So let's see how these guys respond.
Yep, both coaches shot at going up by more than 7, but unable to on their first shot at it.
Yep. So it's been 3-0, 7-3, 10-7, 14-10. Back and forth battle with 4 lead changes already.
Deshaun Jackson, 5 catches, 98 yards so far in the game.
And he goes away from the blocking back. He goes to a short pass. It's correctly double covered by Ed.
Turnover chance.
This is scary. But Travis Kelce says, "Give me that damn ball," and wrestles it away from the middle linebacker, bracketed by the safety, and takes it for a first down.
Well called.
He says, "I don't care if you double team me. I don't care if you single team me. I don't care if you triple team me. I'm getting that ball."
Yeah, you throw me enough balls, I'll end up with a lot of first downs.
So what do you think he's doing this 2 tight end set for? Xavier Grimble is not anywhere near Patrick DeMarco as a receiver, is he?
It's interesting. In a way, you've got to think Ed's thinking, okay, I want to run TJ Watt in here more now.
Right.
And wondering if he's maybe baiting Ed into calling more pass call. Who knows? But, I mean, that would be one of my thoughts there.
Yeah, because you're not really – I mean, as an offensive coach, you might do that if you wanted to switch the coverage on Chris Carson. Like you didn't want the right linebacker, you wanted the left linebacker. But it doesn't make any difference in this spot. Quick out left to Kelce, single covered, guessed right. 2nd and 9, and he hits the short gain for 14 yards. Another big first down for Jeff and the Colts.
You could also just be using Grimble for a change of pace. I mean, I try to find a downer distance at some point in the game. I just go against tendencies formation-wise. And even if it's just for a play or two, sometimes it's good just to throw something different out there. So, it could be something like that.
I don't like it. I think you're right, though. That's a good point.
Who knows,
No, yeah, that's a very good point. So 1st and 10. Here's a quick slant to Grimble, and change of pace or not, he's correctly double teamed, and then now nearly a pick. Oof, scary. So good call, says Jeff.
Jeff's been working on that call for the last week or so, thinking, okay, I'll get Grimble in the game. He won't have any expectation of being a receiver. I'll work a quick look into him. I'll get that one. No, Ed's right on.
Yep, he almost got bit. So back to Chris Carson and Patrick DeMarco in a blocking back set, which is, I think, the right way to go.
I'm looking for Kelce again myself. Short to Jackson. Incomplete.
On a run call. Wow.
Steve Nelson finally makes a play.
Very, that's a very big play because that receiver reading there could have been huge.
Yep.
On D-Jack's card.
Rivers there. Guess wrong. Deshaun Jackson on a 4.
So what looked like a scoring drive is now hanging on the precipice. 3rd and long, near midfield.
3-2-6 coming from Ed. He's blitzing this time.
Yeah, he knows that David Johnson's not going to run the ball. He brings in Danico Autry as a 0-10 nose tackle. He'll maybe bring the free safety and bring this guy up for run support just in case, or not run support, but to cover the zone. Crossing pattern to G-Jax with a free safety coming. And again, Steven Nelson, back-to-back fours, makes the defender X play. That's got to drive you nuts.
Yep. Don't have to have a Patrick Peterson on the other side when you're rolling 4.
At the 5. Let it roll, right? He does.
Yep. Yep. Neither of these punt returners are guys that you really want to let return inside the 5. Patrick Peterson's pretty good. It's the number 1 for Indy. However, he doesn't have enough big stuff. You want to risk the fumble on a return like that. So Ed held and didn't fall down by 2 scores. 14-10 advantage for Indy halfway through this third quarter.
You survived another guessed wrong short pass run call to Deshaun Jackson.
Yep. So. Jeff's got to feel good about having those kind of shots, but feel bad that he didn't capitalize and move the ball with another big play.
Off tackle left to Breida. 9-yard pickup, guessed wrong.
Haven't seen a lot of deep shots from Ed in this game, it doesn't seem like.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this drive might, especially in this situation.
You think
second and short. Look for a bomb to Gronk or Sherman.
Yeah, Sherman against the short yardage, perhaps. No defender, nobody back there. This might be that shot. Flat right to Devontae Adams. Nobody in the zone. Play will be guessed right on the quarterback card.
Goes for a 6-yard gain and a first down.
All right.
So it looks like Jeff is not moving the free safety, but he is moving this guy. Left linebacker Leon Jacobs, who's covering Sherman.
And he's keeping
two plays in a row. He's put him on the line of scrimmage. Watch out for Ed. He might bust the pass to him.
Yep.
Inside run to Breida.
Guess wrong.
Short gain.
10 yards.
First down. So
it seems like Jeff's trying to get some pressure on, so he might have a sack opportunity if Ed does go deep. So he is keeping some linebackers coming there.
Yeah, that time he set him up by moving Jacobs twice and then moved the free safety down to put 2 men in zone, but Ed didn't fall for it. Yep. First and 10 now at the 45. Off tackle left to Breida. He's just going to pound away, try to hit those short gain after short gain. This is not a short gain, but it's just as good. 10-yarder off the D cart.
Yep.
4 runs for Breida today for 31 yards. He's doing well.
Gronk was being double teamed on the play. I think Devontae Adams in the flat might be coming up again soon.
That's one thing that Ed's really good at. He's looking for the weaknesses on the Colts defense. He sees it. 2-4 outside linebackers and a 4 strong safety, plus a tendency not to call a run.
Breida back up. Doesn't get 10 this time, only gets 1.
Yeah, that's James Carter again falling short on the block.
Yep, the 0. Still looking for his first successful block. I'm not in a full house. Second and 9. It's at the 44 of Indy, so definitely in 4-down territory if you don't end up at 4th and 9.
Here's a run call. Inside run to Breida. Picks up 5 off the D card. That'll break contain for 3rd and 4 at the Indy 39. Now, does Ryan Suckup have that ability to kick a long field goal? Because he's got to have some redeeming quality.
Yeah.
2 through 6 out to the 37.
Yep.
3:36 to go in the third quarter. Big call here. What do you do on defense? You call run here? Do you double team Adams looking for a flat pass?
Right.
Defensive end, my +1 or +5, and Jerry Hughes can't make the block. Again, Ed, looking at your weak spots. He hasn't been moving that outside linebacker down much. Even if he had moved him down, it still would have been a first down because linebacker in zone 0 or +4.
And he's running. Yeah, he's running at his strong side there with the blocking back 6. He's got a 6 at blocking back for the end and a 6 at tackle there. So,
yeah, can Jeff stick with some run calls? Will Ed know that he will call run and loosen up for the there's another flat Adams.
Got some blitz coming.
Oh, that's a nice roll for the defense, -3 or -1. If he had gone on the look-in pass, that would have been a 20-yard gain. Instead, it pushes them out to the 38 on 2nd and 14. Pat Pete and his 6 made sure that was as devastating as possible with a 3-yard loss.
And at this point in the field, each yard or two makes a difference. So now you see him in the 2 through 6, but he's 1 yard beyond his range. So those 2 or 4 yards make a difference.
Oh, it was a 4-yard loss, not a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 14. Screen right to Breida. He must have had him double teamed. Picks up 8, guessed wrong. Takes it back into field goal range. That would have been a 4-yard gain, guessed right. So 3rd and 6, containment in effect. Suckup is not the best field goal kicker even at this range. You should look at his card. I think he's like 2 through 8.
I think that may be right, 2 through 8 or 9.
2 through 8, 23 to 32. So I'm not sure if that will make Ed more aggressive on 4th down, but it's something for Jeff to keep in mind.
Definitely a passing look for San Fran with the blocking back and 3 wide receivers. Not really much of a running chance here.
Ed's got 3 guys covered by 4s that can go deep.
Flat rat to Gronk, not double teamed.
Looking for that receiver reading for plus 12 or 13 or 15 kind of result. And instead of a loss of a yard. So 3rd and 7. They wanted to get one of these. 5 through 7, 9, 10, and 12.
You think even a 4-yarder, you've got the 4th down option at 4th and 2 or something, you might go for it, but you don't really have any options at 4th and 7 there, and he misses it on a 10. It's one of those where a great kicker makes that field goal.
Yeah, and it didn't matter if the variable field goal range didn't come into play. It was 2 through 6 at the other range and 2 through 8 at the preferred range. Either way, a 10's bad.
Yep.
So Jets survived that drive. Pitch out right to Carson. Guessed wrong. Nobody in the zone. Dreaded 5. We haven't seen many of those today.
No, and quietly we're down to the last play of the 4th quarter. It looks, or 3rd quarter. It looks like. So Chris gets Jeff rather gets a field goal here. He's up by 7, and if he happens to get a touchdown, he could take an 11-point lead with somewhere around 12 minutes left. He'll be in a nice situation.
Yeah, he needs to get a first down. That first of all, Ed's really good at stopping these right off the bat. He can't afford another 3 and out. Give Ed another shot. Pitch out left to Carson. Guessed wrong. There is somebody in the zone.
And he makes the block for a 2-yard gain. Looks like he would have had 5. Good job by Ed filling the zone there.
And not that it's a little bit harder to get an interception on 9 these days as they reduce the chances, but that would have been on a short pass. That would have been the interception split. So that could have been dangerous. 3rd and 8.
3-2-6 showing blitz.
With Danico Autry down and out to Johnson. It's auto sack if that's the challenge. It's not the challenge, but it hits a blank on Rivers' card.
No high linebacker, no pass rush. And TJ Watt would have, being a 12, had he
auto sack,
would have ran right over David Johnson, who wasn't even there to block. So
right, he would have ran right past him.
Actually, the mistaken that would have came up on the guard. The high linebacker.
Oh, gotcha. But still a good chance with the Watts pass rush.
Yeah.
Lets it roll into the end zone. So Ed gets another clean slate. Down 4 with 14 minutes left in the game.
Plenty of carries left. Blocking back set with Breida. Long to Sherman.
There's that long bomb to the fullback covered by a 4 I was talking about.
Yep, 4
and he gets a dump off. So 16 yards and a first down.
No turnovers for either quarterback yet. 19 for 27, 156 for Mayfield. So not a big average game, but you're happy we hadn't turned it over so far.
And that was an 18% chance of a sack. Grady Jarrett against James Carpenter. And the random roll is 23. So maybe with a little more pressure, that could have been a sack.
Yep, 1 linebacker away.
So 64 yards to go for Ed. Inside run to Breida. Guess wrong. Nobody there. 6-yarder. Ooh. See, now that's the kind of play that you have somebody like Chris Carson running off tackle. Might be his big 61-yarder.
Yep.
2nd and 4.
And Breida's going to have probably like an 80-yarder next year on his card because he had a big run against somebody in about week 6 or 7.
Good point. He's got a 66-yard run on end run on 2 and 33 on a 12.
Linebacker Breida. Free safety double teaming Devontae Adams, who I would have probably done the same thing. I was looking at a flat pass to Devontae Adams on that down and distance as well myself. So we got another first down. Ed's got a couple of them, and now he's up to his own 38, roughly 30 yards or roughly 20 yards from being in 2 through 8 field goal range. But at this point in the game, you want to take the game, take the lead in the game. So he's definitely thinking touchdown on this drive if he can get it.
Button hook to Breida. His coverage guy's gone, so it'll be guessed wrong in his receiver card. But the defender +2 or +5, and there's no defender, so +5 gain. I thought that might be the linebacker in the zone, but that's the one right up from it. So somehow, are we seeing the wrong thing? Because that should have been a 5-yard pickup or a 2-yard pickup. Why is it 2nd and 7?
It's +3. It was defender +1 or +3, no defender, so he gets the +3.
Yeah, on my card it says +2 or +5. That's weird. I think we're seeing some inconsistencies with the spectator results, from Strat. 16-yard gain there for Corey Davis, guessed right. And there's no inconsistency there. That takes it down to the 33-yard line. And Ed has Jeff on his heels, trying to guard against the passing game with Mayfield, Davis, Adams, Gronk, and the running game behind Breida.
Yep, and Ed's continued to run the ball, so you definitely have to call run sometimes because Ed just continues to pound the ball. Here's guess wrong to Breida off tackle. 2 yards is one of those defensive tackle 6s. Grady Jarrett makes the play on a roll of 5.
So you see that yellow line there at the 23-yard line. That's really the yellow line to keep Ed into, shaky field goal range. He doesn't want to let him get past the 23-yard line. So let's see if he can do it. 2nd and 8.
Long to
Sherb. Scary time. Defensive back in zone +X or +31, and that's a touchdown.
All the way down to the 2, 29 yards.
No, it's 30. I see a touchdown on my screen. Is it really down to the 2?
Yes.
Isn't that weird? I swear to God, I saw a touchdown on my screen. You'll see it on the broadcast. Look at this. I don't know what's going on here. I guess that's his max reading, right?
No.
Are you watching on your own screen as a spectator?
Keep in mind, Jeff's got the good defensive cards, and I'm just going to double check. I thought I checked. As a matter of fact, I know I did last night to see that he does have the good defensive cards. And I'm wondering if, for some reason,
I think you're right. I think, yeah. I don't think maybe I didn't download the new league file, so that's probably why I've seen it. I'm gonna after this touchdown, or after this series, I'm gonna quickly go grab it. So because you're right. That's what it is.
If you want, you can just show my screen, and we can continue broadcasting that way.
Well, you're not sharing your screen, so share your screen, and I'll do that. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay. Let me find. Okay. Share screen.
Off tackle right to Breida being Keem Mayfield. The linebacker in zone doesn't make the stop, and it's a 3-yard gain and a touchdown. So Breida takes it in from a yard out, and that gives Ed the lead. 9:18 to go.
No, choose share audio also, Dennis.
Say that again. That's fine. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
That's in case you were watching a YouTube video and you wanted to show me the audio on that, but it doesn't matter. Yes or no is fine.
Okay. So San Fran's up 17-14. Plenty of time left. 9:18 remaining. Jeff still can tie it with just a field goal.
All right. So I shared your screen. I'm gonna go grab the cloud instructions.
Okay.
So I can get this updated so it doesn't drive me crazy anymore.
Well, it's too late for that, but we'll deal with it.
It was so weird though, like seeing a different result than what actually happened.
Yeah.
So the season playoffs.
Okay, Jeff's saying nice drive back there. Phillip Rivers, veteran quarterback with the ball at his own 17. Plenty of carries for Carson. Back to the blocking back set. Got a short pass guessed wrong to Travis Kelce, who's had a nice game. Incomplete off of Phillip Rivers' card. Rivers 17 of 25, 189 and a touchdown. 2nd and 10. He did run it the last series, I want to say, on an up-and run. Carson on the second and long, and Ed had the extra guy in the zone. Got short to Sterling Shepard. No double team, 3-man in zone. Working on a 5. Guessed right. 12-yard pickup. All first downs big at this point in the game, but when you're down and it's your possession, you definitely don't want to have to punt it right back and give the other team a chance to go up by 2 scores. 17-14, San Fran, just over 8 minutes remaining. Deshaun Jackson's had a nice game. Shepard 5 for 36 and a touchdown on the other side.
Bomb to Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson, long, no man, beats Steve Nelson on a roll of 5.
That's a ballsy call. I like it. Nelson's getting beat around a little bit after he came up with those 2 big plays, back-to-back drives at the end of the half.
Yep. Phillip Rivers continues to look at Deshaun Jackson. 6 catches, 133.
And Grimble's back in the game. I'm grumbling about Grimble. It's a curl to Sterling Shepard, covered by a 5. Guessed right. Incomplete. That is a long gain on Rivers' long pass card. But, hindsight's 20/20.
Almost certainly in 4-down situation if you're not in field goal range, since you're already at the 36, down 3 points about halfway through the 4th quarter.
Let me take a look at his field goal range. He is not. He's even worse than old Suckup. He's 2 through 7 from the 23 to the 32, and only 2 through 4 out to the 37.
Oh.
Free safety doubling Kelce.
Incomplete.
Can't get it done.
And
2nd and 6 here, or 3rd and 10 at the 36. So he needs to get 6 yards or so to even have a 50-50 chance at the field goal. But like you said, it's probably 4-down territory. But he does go with the 3 wide instead of staying in base with Carson, where you can threaten to run to get those last 4 yards to give you at least a 50-50 shot. He's going for it all. 3rd and 10, and Ed will answer with the 3-2-6. The question is, does he go with Damone Harrison as the 5-5, or does he switch to Danico Autry and show blitz?
And you look at David Johnson's card, and they're just not a big threat. I mean, he's just not a threat on 3rd and 10. So,
yeah, can't really run it with him unless you get lucky and hit an 8 on the defensive cards. You can certainly pass it to him.
Definitely. And if you've got him in the game on 3rd and 10, if you're not throwing to him, he's a guy that can pick up yards on the dump off for you. So, good receiver. All in all, I'd rather have McCaffrey. I think a lot of people felt David Johnson was kind of heading down Christian McCaffrey's career path when he started off so great. But unfortunately, he's been slowed by injuries, and probably being stuck on the Cardinals hadn't helped a ton.
Curl to Sterling Shepard. Defender extra short gain, incomplete.
Josh Norman making the play. Roll of 4. 4th and 10. I just don't like even the coffin corner punt here. It's a bad situation to be in 4th and 10, but I don't know that I like punting, period, in this down and distance in this era. If we
Yeah,
were
you gotta go for it here.
Go for the coffin corner punt and play defense, but in this era, you might not see the ball again.
Yep. Let's see if Jeff agrees with your assessment. I agree with it. I think you should go.
You got a good, short pass Rivers. You just got to see if you can maybe not get a double team roll. If not, he's going to punt. He play field position game here.
Yeah, I don't like this, especially against a coach like Ed. He's very good at bleeding the clock. At the 1, it's going to go into the end zone. Oh, no, what a punt.
Yeah.
It flips back. I think that's got to be like an 11 or something on the punt return card or on the punt bounce die. Oh, it's a 4. So he flips it back up, bounces 1 yard, and Ed's going to start at the 2.
Michael Pilardi putting English on the football.
Nice job. And, of course, it wouldn't have done that if he hadn't gone for the coffin corner and it took off exactly 13 yards and then bounced back for 1 yard.
Right.
So let's see if he can get the stop there. If you force a 3 and out, you get the ball back at midfield. The problem is Ed's been moving the ball consistently in this half. Even on the drives where he didn't get any points and had to kick it, he picked up several first downs, which will bleed clock in this instance.
No free safety blitz. You see it pretty often inside the 10 and inside the 5. A lot of coaches will try to, not just for the safety possibility, but just to maybe force the offense into a run call.
Off tackle right, called correctly. Run call. He wants it on the halfback card.
Ollie gets another.
And of course, it hits the D card for 10 yards. Ed gets what he wants.
Breida 13.
He takes what he wants, a first down.
Breida 13 for 68 and at least 3 plus 10s out of that.
4 unfatigued carries left for Breida. I think he still has 1 unfatigued left for Powell, though he can't run in this half unless it's in certain situations.
Yeah.
Curled to Corey Davis, guessed right, but only 3 men in zone, covered by a 5.
Caught it.
And he gets the roll he needed.
Corey Davis, good game. He's caught some passes off his card. Now he's up to 7 catches, 99 yards.
Jeff's going, where was that plus 11 on Phillip Rivers' cards when I needed it on 3rd down?
5:06 remaining. Ball with the 23, San Francisco.
He correctly calls run again. Another plus 10 on the D card would be a killer. It's a plus 5 on the D card. Still not good for Jeff.
Jerry Hughes again trying to get upfield for the pass rush maybe, but did not make the play on a roll of 5. Second and 5. Hadn't seen any short yardage defenses. This might be one of those down and distance. You take a shot at one. Off tackle left, Breida gets wrong.
Fumble. It's a fumble. It looks like Jeff's got the ball. Oh, no. San Francisco recovered it. They sit on it. I thought the graphic there looked like the little blue icon was grabbing the ball, but I was wrong.
There's a lot of fighting goes on at the bottom of those huddles. You never know who's going to end up with it. But now it's 3rd and 7. So what do you do with your San Fran here? Yeah,
that was a rookie mistake there by Baker Mayfield, pulling out a little early and dropping the ball. 3rd and 7. Anthony Sherman's back there. He's covered by a 4. Gronk's covered by a 4. Tywan Taylor's covered by a 4. You got Gronk as a flat pass option. I don't know. I think Ed's going to go a short pass to Corey Davis.
Yeah, I was going to say I would go away from Gronk, and we got long to Corey Davis. Working on a 5.
Incomplete.
I would have definitely went away from Gronk just due to the fact I would not want to risk a double team to an obvious number 1 target in a situation like that. So Ed did not. The double team was on Gronk.
So Ed picks up 2 first downs. Jeff's going to get the ball back.
Oh,
it's a block kick. Are you kidding me? It's not even a block off of the punter's card. San Francisco recovers. Will they get a long gain? No, they can only return 3 yards.
16 chance just by going for the block, you get one. Oh, so big in a game like this. 3:18 left.
So in order for that to happen, you need a white die 1 and a punt die of 6 and 6. So a punt die 12. So you see that That's exactly what happened.
1 and 2.
And yeah, one in 216, right? Is that right? Nice. Flare right to DeMarco, his first target of the day. Picks up 7 down to the 10.
Nice pickup.
And of course, Jeff wants to get this in the end zone. He doesn't want to settle for a tying field goal.
And Jeff would love to get it in the end zone with like 20 seconds left.
Well, that's not going to happen. 2:42 to go, and you're at the 10. So at the most, he'll get it. You know,
I mean, he definitely wants to bleed some time if he can.
Yeah, maybe a minute and a half would be ideal if he can get it in there, and he'll have a 4-point lead.
Sitting in field goal range, he feels like the clock is his friend, and he wants to run some of it off.
There it is, touchdown. Chris Carson says, "Forget about the time. I'm getting in the end zone, getting while the getting's good."
Yep, that's a guessed right or wrong. So Ed would have had to keep him out of pay dirt there.
And this is set up for a fantastic finish here.
It is. Rookie Baker Mayfield down 21-17. We'll have a little over 2 minutes and all 3 timeouts to work with, but a field goal's not enough. So
kicks it 3 yards deep.
Probably takes the touchback, saves the play. Yeah.
He'll have the 2-point conversion or 2-minute timeout, a 2-minute warning, and 3 timeouts. So plenty of time for Ed. And he's got the run game in play. He's got the deep threats in play. He's got the flats in play. So we've seen this offense move the ball well. Jeff goes to a 3-3-5. Interesting.
Yep. You've got 75 yards to pick up, and you're probably not going to get it all on one play. So if you're Ed, you're looking at a 3-3-5. Do you start with a run here? No, long to 2 men deep. Interception chance here.
Jeff's going D-card. It's a dump off for nothing. Incomplete.
Adams, who's as good as you can be, did not pick it up there.
Yeah, and you had mentioned it when my screen was messed up because it wasn't showing. I was still showing Indy as average, but that good pass defense card could come into play here as Ed's forced to throw it a little bit more. Although I think he's going to run it here with Breida because the clock will stop with a 2-minute warning. But their interception chances are ratcheted up for the good pass D part.
Jeff's been calling run against Breida a lot recently. Will he risk it here? No.
Yeah, not in this spot with a 3-3-5.
Yeah, you really have to make the offense use a lot of plays to move the ball down the field. You can't give up 60 yards with 2 minutes left. So you have to call pass almost, but it's
so
not.
This is a spot where Powell could come into the game, I think, and run the ball, but he sticks with Breida. I think it's allowed on 3rd downs.
Yeah, it is. 2nd and 4 or less, I believe, or 2 or less, and anytime on 3rd down.
But he sticks with Breida. Pitch out and a run call. You're right. Jeff's not going to abandon the run. Offensive onside tackle picks up block. 5 yards and a 1st down. Big block there by Taylor Lewan. Nice. Wow, we're getting our exciting finish, man. 1st and 10 down to the 36.
17 potential plays once you start at 2 minutes, so we're about 3 plays lower than that. So Ed can definitely run the ball, but once you burn your timeouts up, your running plays start eating up 2 or 3 downs or ticks on the clock. It makes it a little tougher to keep running, but he's only got 64 yards to go. Sounds like a lot, but you're, a 20 or 30 yard dump off from being way down there. And then all of a sudden it's just a completed long pass and you're in the end zone. Short to Lewis, not double teamed. Yes, he is double teamed.
No, he is double teamed, but by a linebacker. So it went on the receiver card.
And Ed did not show blitz, or that sniper scope would have created.
Yeah, Jeff did not show blitz.
Yeah, Jeff, excuse me.
So 2nd and 10 here. Again, I think you see maybe Ed go back to the – oh, no, forget about that. I was going to say go back to the run, but he goes 3 wide.
I was thinking the same.
And Jeff says, forget your advice, Dennis and Bobby Wagner. I'm taking him off the field and going 3-2-6. So he's going to pull an Ed on Ed with 2 true double teams maybe or
Yep.
Ed might go look into Gronk here. He goes square into Devontae Adams. Jeff left it open.
Let me guess wrong.
9 yards. Another first down, or close to another first down, I should say.
Keeps him out of containment on third down, so it was a huge pickup, and we'll see if he calls a timeout or if he's got to call a timeout. He can't come to the line of scrimmage in a blocking back 3 wide receiver.
Yeah.
You'd force yourself into a run for Mayfield almost. Yep, there's the time.
Yeah, he had to do it.
Even if you want to run a hurry up, the formation doesn't match the down and distance for you.
So Jeff goes 3-3-5, which brings in this 0 defensive end. Now, Ed might just run it right behind Lawan again, or maybe an end run with Sherman blocking. Will Jeff call run? He called run in a similar spot and plugged the right end zone. Nope. He calls pass, 2-man end zone deep. This is going to be a first down.
5 yards.
Only a 5-yard pickup, though, which is good for Jeff.
Probably going to get a hurry up now.
Breida's in his first level of fatigue. Ed might continue to run it and try to hit one of these big numbers, 2, 4, or 12, or 6. 2, 4, 6, or 12 would get you that much closer.
Yeah, Breida's got a good flat card. He's got a long of 26, but he's got a good flat card, so you could keep him in the game.
He says, no way. I'm going to go 3 wide again. Forget the run. I got to get there with my arm.
Young shoulders of Baker Mayfield and set up a almost certain pass here. 1st and 10, midfield.
Will Jeff leave that look-in zone open, hoping to get rid of Ed's last time out?
It's only got 50 yards to pick up. It's hard to give up that 8 or 10 yards for sure by leaving it open, but he will.
Crossing pattern to Adams, double team by a linebacker. And it's a dump off for no gain, 2nd and 10.
Excellent game.
Well, you certainly prefer that incomplete than landing on the 12 and having a -1 where you have to use your timeout.
Right. Any pickup of really 3 or 4, you'd probably rather, unless they get out of bounds, you'd rather just see it go incomplete.
Absolutely. I still think that look into Gronk is in play here.
Absolutely. And he's been
Jeff's not covering it.
And he's been throwing to Sherman some recently. We'll see if maybe he's saving one of those.
Oh, he goes short pattern, short to Sherman. Guessed right. 4-man in zone, incomplete, 3rd and 10. But again, that looking pass was open again.
I'm sure Ed and Jeff are both thinking that same thing. We've left the look in open a couple of times in a row. Do we cover it here, thinking he's going to pick at it?
Pitch, he does.
And he covers.
It's a nice cat and mouse there. He gets 6, so that sets up 4th and 4. Play of the game right here.
Now, again, if you're Ed, do you call the timeout so you can get a running back threat back in? 4th and 4, there's no contain.
Yes, I think you do that.
I think you call the timeout here.
But instead of bringing Breida in or Powell, he goes to 3 wide.
Yep, saving the timeout, 4th and 4.
Oh, yeah, so he didn't even use the timeout. He just said, hurry up. 37 seconds left.
Mayfield's solid enough flat. If it comes off his card, not double team, got a great chance of picking up the first down.
Play of the game. Bomb to Lawan. 1-man in zone. Covered by a 4. Baker needs an 8. And it's a must run for 3 yards.
Oh.
He tries to reach the ball past the sticks. The refs give him a bad spot. They go to review. Call on the field stands. First down for the Colts.
Mayfield,
the Niners are denied.
Mayfield's saying, if I wasn't a rookie, you'd have gave it to me there.
Yeah, he's a little upset.
And now we've got no need to run a play. Ed only has 1 timeout, so we'll get Jeff moving on here with a 21-17 win.
Let's look at the D card. What was a 5 with 1-man in zone? It would have been incomplete on the D card. So, and anything 2 through 7. Imagine if he would have rolled a 2, a 35-yard must run for Baker Mayfield to get the ball down inside the 20. That would have been a nice finish, but instead, Jeff says, "This is a nice finish. I'm moving on. I'm moving into the top final."
Now I'm surprised.
8.
I'm surprised you would say that's a nice finish, Dennis, because that's the way our game ended. I kind of felt like I got a lucky break there when Mahomes hit that plus whatever 28 for a 27-yard TD.
Well, I'm just not speaking as one of the coaches involved, just as a network executive. We're looking for a fun finish to the season. That would have been cool.
Yep, and
to the game, I should say.
Pretty sure Mayfield picks up the first down on a flat pass there. I think he's got it across the board 4 through 7 with +4 or better. So always good to look back on your roll and say, I should have called this play.
Right. A 5 would have been +5.
Yep.
Yes, right.
We can all be Belichick if we can do that. So
exactly. All right. Well, that's the game. It was exciting. When if you're in Jeff's spot, you're like tickled pink, especially if you look at the stats. San Francisco picked up 27 first downs, so only 15 for Indy. They picked up 100 extra yards. The turnovers were even. It was just that block punt at the end, which kind of is like a turnover, and the snap fumble where Ed was like in second and short, and he had a guess wrong run that turned into a snap fumble. Which stopped that drive for San Francisco. So
yep. You look at it, and a couple of the real key things to me, Indy got 3 touchdowns. San Fran had 2, had a field goal, and had a missed field goal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then had a 4th down that was close to or right at field goal range that they had to go for on 4th down. Had they made the earlier field goal, it would have been 21-20, maybe, if the game had played out the same and you're not having to go for the touchdown. So San Fran wasn't able, unfortunately, to maximize a lot of the yardage that they had just due to the kicker and the game situation and such.
Well, it was a lot of fun broadcasting with you. I really enjoyed jumping in there and watching it.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it, and we'll have to find another game that we can broadcast together. Enjoyed it a lot, Dennis.
All right, man. I'm going to shut it down and go take care of some things. I think the AFC Conference Championship starting soon, right?
I've got it on record. I think we're about 10 minutes into it. So, yes, I'll go watch it too, and have a great afternoon.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Congratulations, Jeff. And well done, Ed, as always.
Yes, congratulations to both coaches.